5 reasons you keep attracting toxic people and how to stop it for good. Do you ever feel like you're a magnet for manipulative people? Like you're stuck in a revolving door of toxic relationships that leave you feeling completely drained? If you're tired of giving your all, only to end up feeling unseen, unheard, and undervalued, it's definitely not because you're broken. It's a subconscious pattern, a deeply ingrained blueprint that keeps leading you back to the same painful dynamics. But the best news? You have the power to rewrite that blueprint entirely. In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 psychological reasons you keep attracting toxic people. More importantly, I'm going to give you practical, actionable tools to finally break the cycle, reclaim your peace, and start building the healthy, supportive connections you actually deserve. Before we get into it, let's get one thing straight. This is not about blaming you. The fact that you attract these individuals is not your fault. Often, the very things that make you a wonderful person, your empathy, your loyalty, your ability to see the good in others, are exactly what toxic people look for. The problem isn't your goodness, it's the lack of boundaries needed to protect that goodness. Our goal here is to understand the why behind the pattern. Because once you can see the invisible strings pulling you toward these people, you can finally cut them. We're moving from unconscious repetition to conscious choice. By the end of this, you won't just know how to spot red flags in others. You'll understand the green flags you need to grow within yourself. So, if you're ready to stop being a magnet for toxicity and start becoming a fortress of self-worth, let's jump into the first reason. Section 1. The echo of your childhood. The first, and probably the biggest, reason you attract toxic people is familiarity. Our brains are wired to seek what they already know. Our earliest relationships, usually with our parents, create a hidden blueprint for what love is supposed to feel like. Think about it. If you grew up in a home where love was chaotic, inconsistent, or something you had to, your nervous system learned to associate that emotional roller coaster with connection. An emotionally distant parent might have taught you that love feels like chasing someone. A critical parent might have taught you that love means constantly proving your worth. So, as an adult, you might consciously say, "I want someone stable and kind." But your subconscious is scanning the room for that old familiar feeling. When you meet someone calm and secure, it can feel, well, boring. Your system doesn't recognize it. But then you meet someone intense, unpredictable, who creates that familiar push and pull, and your brain lights up thinking, "This is it. This feels like home." You aren't attracted to the pain, you're attracted to the pattern. It's a psychological phenomenon called repetition compulsion, the unconscious drive to repeat old wounds to finally fix them and get the love you always wanted. How to stop it? Breaking this cycle starts with making the unconscious conscious. It's time to become a detective of your own history. Start journaling or just reflecting on these questions. What did connection feel like in my childhood? Was it calm and secure, or was it something I had to fight for? Do my exes or toxic friends share any emotional habits with my caregivers? The goal isn't to blame anyone, but to understand your own programming. Once you see the link between a past wound and a present attraction, the magnetic pull starts to weaken. Therapy, especially approaches that focus on attachment theory, can be a game changer here. A good therapist helps you heal those original wounds, so you no longer feel the need to replay them. You're essentially teaching your brain that real chemistry isn't anxiety, it's safety. Section 2. The Anxious-Avoidant Trap. The second reason is all about your attachment style. In a nutshell, attachment theory explains how our early bonds shape our adult relationships. Many of us develop insecure attachment styles, and one of the most common toxic pairings is the anxious person and the avoidant person. Here's how this toxic dance works. The person with an anxious attachment style fears abandonment and constantly needs reassurance. They are givers, often pouring everything they have into a relationship, hoping their efforts will finally make them feel secure. On the other side, The person with an avoidant attachment style fears intimacy. They crave independence and feel suffocated by too much closeness, which causes them to pull away or shut down. You can probably see where this is going. The anxious person chases, and the avoidant person retreats. The more the anxious person pursues, the more the avoidant person pulls back. This triggers the anxious person's deepest fear of abandonment, making them cling even tighter. It's a perfect storm of dysfunction. The anxious person is drawn to the challenge of the unavailable avoidant, and the avoidant is drawn to the anxious person who provides just enough attention to justify their need to run away. How to stop it? First, figure out your own attachment style. There are tons of quizzes and resources online that can point you in the right direction. If you lean anxious, the work is to build your own security from the inside out. Stop looking for someone else to be your anchor and become your own. This means learning to soothe your own anxiety, building a life full of hobbies and friends that you love, and practicing being alone without feeling lonely. From now on, your new rule is to look for partners through a secure lens. Instead of being drawn to the emotionally unavailable project, you consciously prioritize traits of secure attachment: consistency, clear communication, and emotional availability. When you meet someone new, slow it down. Watch their actions. Do they do what they say they're going to do? Do they communicate consistently, or do they vanish and reappear? When you shift your focus from chasing sparks to seeking safety, you'll naturally start filtering out the avoidance. Section 3. The rescuer complex and trauma bonding. The third reason you keep attracting toxic people is that you might be a rescuer. If you're a deeply empathetic person, you might be unconsciously drawn to people who seem broken or wounded. You see their potential, you hear their sob story, and you think, "I can fix them. My love will be enough to heal them." This dynamic is like a siren song for toxic individuals, especially narcissists, because it puts all the focus on them and takes all the responsibility off of them. You do all the emotional heavy lifting, make excuses for their awful behavior, and pour your soul into their bottomless pit of needs, hoping that one day they'll finally appreciate you. This sets the stage for something called a trauma bond. The relationship isn't bad all the time, that's what makes it so confusing. It runs on a cycle of intermittent reinforcement. You get moments of intense affection and love bombing, which give you a huge dopamine rush. Then, they're followed by periods of coldness, neglect, or cruelty. This cycle works just like a slot machine. You keep pulling the lever, enduring all the losses, just for that slim chance of hitting the jackpot of affection again. It creates a powerful biochemical bond that feels just like an addiction, making it incredibly hard to leave. How to stop it? It's time to trade in your rescuer cape for a crown of self-respect. You have to internalize this truth. It is not your job to fix another person. Your only job is to heal yourself. Say it with me. I am responsible for my happiness, and they are responsible for theirs. In practice, this means learning to love from a distance. You can have compassion for someone's pain without letting them pull you under. Your most powerful tool here is the pause. When you meet someone new, resist that urge to dive in headfirst. Slow everything down. Don't mistake intensity for intimacy. Take time to observe their character, not just their charisma. How do they treat the waiter? How do they talk about their ex? How do they handle stress? Actions always speak louder than words. And get honest about your own needs. Often, the desire to fix someone else is just a reflection of the parts of ourselves that we feel are broken. Instead of pouring all that energy into them, turn it inward. Become the loving, supportive parent to yourself that you always needed. When you start filling your own cup, you'll stop looking for someone else to do it for you. Section 4. A deficit in self-worth. This all ties into what might be the bedrock of the entire pattern. You attract what you believe you deserve. If deep down you don't believe you are worthy of consistent love and respect, you will tolerate people who don't give you those things. Low self-worth is like an open invitation for toxic people who are masters at sniffing out insecurity. This feeling of being not good enough often starts in childhood. Maybe you were criticized, neglected, or made to feel like a burden. You might have learned that love is conditional, something you have to earn. As an adult, this turns into chronic people-pleasing, an inability to say no, and accepting crumbs of affection because you're afraid that asking for the whole loaf will mean getting nothing at all. A huge sign of low self-worth is finding healthy, stable relationships boring. The peace that comes with a secure partner doesn't create the familiar chaos of having to prove yourself. So, you might even sabotage good things because the lack of drama doesn't confirm your core belief that you have to suffer for love. How to stop it? Building self-worth is an active daily practice. It's not something you think about, it's something you. Start with small, consistent acts of self-respect. First, try daily affirmations. I know it can feel cheesy at first, but repeating statements like, "I am worthy of respect," or "my needs are valid," literally helps rewire the negative tracks in your brain. Second, start a no practice. Say no to small things you don't want to do. You don't have to explain or justify it. No is a complete sentence. Every time you say no to something that drains you, you're casting a vote for yourself, reinforcing the idea that your energy is precious. Third, curate your environment. Unfollow social media accounts that make you feel like crap. Spend more time with people who lift you up and less time with those who drag you down. Your self-worth is heavily influenced by the company you keep. And finally, make quick exits. The moment someone shows you through disrespect or criticism that they don't value you, be willing to walk away. Staying to convince them of your worth only gives them more power. When you value yourself enough to leave, you send a powerful message to the universe and, more importantly, to yourself that you are no longer available for mistreatment. Section 5. Permeable boundaries. The fifth and final reason is a direct result of the other four. You have weak or non-existent boundaries. Think of boundaries not as walls to keep people out, but as gates that you control. You get to decide what comes in and what stays out. Toxic people are, by nature, boundary pushers. When they first meet you, they'll subtly test your limits to see what you'll let them get away with. If you make excuses for them showing up late, laugh off a passive-aggressive comment, or answer their 2 a.m. phone call, you're sending a very clear signal. My rules are flexible, and my needs come second to yours. This makes you a perfect target. People pleasers and those who hate conflict are especially vulnerable because they'd rather swallow their own discomfort than risk making someone else upset. A lack of boundaries isn't just about what you say, it's about what you do. If you say, "I won't tolerate being yelled at," but you stay on the phone while they're screaming, your actions just told them your words mean nothing. Without firm, consistently held boundaries, you're leaving the door to your emotional home wide open for anyone to walk in and trash the place. How to stop it? Setting boundaries is a three-part skill: identify, communicate, and enforce. First, identify your non-negotiables. What are the things you will no longer accept? Get specific. I will not accept unsolicited comments about my body. I will not engage in arguments over text. These are your personal rules for self-preservation. Second, communicate them. Do it clearly, calmly, and firmly using I statements. Instead of "you're so rude when you yell," which is an attack, try, "I feel disrespected when voices are raised. If this continues, I'm going to end the conversation." It's about your feelings and your actions, not their character. Third, and this is the most important part, you must be prepared to enforce the consequence. If you said you'd hang up, you hang up. If you said you'd leave, you leave. Following through is the only way to teach people you mean business. The first few times you do this, expect pushback. They might call you selfish or too sensitive. This is a test. Hold firm. By consistently enforcing your boundaries, you're not just teaching others how to treat you, you're building unshakable self-respect and making yourself a terrible target for manipulators. So, from the echoes of our childhood to the anxious-avoidant dance, the rescuer complex, low self-worth and weak boundaries, you can see this pattern isn't about a flaw in your character. It's about old wounds and outdated programming. But the power to change this is 100% in your hands. It starts with awareness, grows with self-worth, and becomes solid with strong boundaries. This journey isn't about becoming cold or closing yourself off. It's about becoming so full of self-love and respect that you naturally repel anyone who wants to diminish you, and instead, create space for people who will celebrate you. The path to healthy relationships is an inside job. It might feel weird at first, but every boundary you set and every time you choose yourself, you are one step closer to breaking this cycle for good. You deserve relationships that feel like peace, not like a battlefield. Thank you for watching. Remember, you hold the power to change your story. If you found it helpful, share it with someone who might need it, and always practice psychology with integrity. Tap like, subscribe for more practical psychology, and tell me in the comments.